Good day. I'm Emerlyn from Group 2 and we will be presenting on Learning from Toyota, Lean Philosophy and Foundations. The Toyota House model represents the philosophies that the company follow on their lean journey. The principles should remain constant since they govern decisions and priorities. The supporting tools change and improve, but the ideas remain constant. The first pillar of the Toyota House model is the just-in-time pillar, which focuses on eliminating waste. JIT means using the minimum inventory, equipment, labor, and space to deliver products just in time to the customer by creating flow and using a pull system. JIT reduces inventory to expose problems and waste. The second pillar is JIDOKA, which focuses on built-in quality. Toyota wants to set up a production line so equipment self-detects errors and stops automatically. From the people side, the line is built up so that it can be stopped by the team members whenever a quality fault is discovered. Jidoka is the Toyota production system's foundation. The third pillar is the roof, which is respect for humanity. This encompasses Toyota's interpretation of respect for humanity. And lastly, the fourth pillar is the base, which is the foundational requirements of the company. There are some lean tools which Toyota uses to help in the implementation of lean. The 5 Whys, which is a problem-solving tool, and the 5W2Hs, which is one of the tools to eliminate waste. It is also known as the know-how versus know-why concept. The main arguments which the author details in the article is that most companies struggle with implementing lean, and most companies also face difficulties in implementing Jidoka. Lastly, lean is synonymous with layoffs. Some of the main approaches the author entails in his article into combating these issues raised is the systems thinking theory, the lean tools such as 5 Whys and 5W2Hs, and the one piece flow. Firstly, we have the introduction done by me. Secondly, the objective description of a major issue also done by me, followed by the analysis of the author's approaches and arguments done by Bikasha, and then the interpretation of the above approach by How, followed by the implications of this issue for strategic accounting and accountants done by Tiati, and lastly, the conclusion done by Yicheng. One major issue raised in the case study is the difficulty of implementing Jidoka. Companies struggle with Jidoka because it requires lean thinking and tools before it can succeed. Most firms don't understand Jidoka, thus making implementation hard. When a team member says, "I can't leave the machine," it is understood that Jidoka is needed. When asked why, the operator says it may crash, manufacture a faulty part, or have a malfunction. A malfunction could cause a mess or downtime. Secondly, operators spend most of their time monitoring machinery in most companies. In case the machine goes down, the corporation pays the operator to stand by. When informing the operators that they don't need to observe the machine, they think that the companies don't care about quality. But in reality, the companies are actually building quality into the system.
In the article, an issue that arises is that companies struggle with the implementation of lean, as most employees lack training in systems thinking. The author approaches the issue by referring to the importance of systems thinking, saying that it is one of the building blocks for a learning organization. Therefore, the only way to fix problems is to change the systems. The author states that whatever problems you have in a company, it is important to understand that they are rewarded by the current system. This would help with lean implementation as systems thinking is a vital part of it. Therefore, training your employees with systems thinking theory and tools would help companies reduce waste and reduce all the costs associated, which is a lean goal. In the article, the author also states important tools and concepts from lean, which include the 5 Whys for problem solving and the know-how versus know-why concept. These concepts explain how you can't really solve a problem without knowing the problem. One of the basic techniques leveraged when problem solving is the 5 Whys. The author also highlights how we must learn to know the why in addition to knowing the how to truly fix the root causes of problems. The author supports this argument using evidence by referring to Toyota and its house model, mentioning respect for humanity to emphasize the importance of this concept. As Toyota's step respect for humanity is their way of training their employees with the lean concept of the 5 whys and know how versus why. Furthermore, the author also talks about quality control circles, also known as Jishuken, as an argument to highlight the importance of staff training when implementing lean. The benefit from these circles is the power it gives frontline workers to ensure the quality of the product they deliver. It gives the responsibility for quality to the ones with direct control instead of pushing it back to the managers or engineers. When employees rely on other staff, such as their managers, they are not empowered to learn more about their processes. Instead of knowing the product or process fully, they begin to feel disconnected with how things work. The author highlights how if we don't understand how something works or the knowledge behind a process, it makes it very difficult to improve, especially at a root cause level. The second issue is that most companies do not understand Jidoka, which makes the business process inefficient. The author approaches this issue by highlighting how most companies require Jidoka, explaining how team members in the office often say, "I cannot leave the machine," and when asked why, the operator states that it might crash, produce a bad part, or have some type of problem. The author then goes on to state how it is important to build quality into the system. Using Toyota's house model as evidence, the author talks about Jidoka, which is Toyota's second pillar. Jidoka's goal is to always strive for 100% quality in products by producing zero defects. Thus, systems must be designed to find the error prior to it becoming a defect. The author also explains one-piece flow, which is a lean concept to also support the argument of implementing Jidoka. The author also supports this argument by referring to human sigma levels, explaining that 3 sigma quality is approximately 66,000 mistakes per million opportunities. So if the process depends on a human, the system will probably never get better than 2 or 3 sigma, as humans make mistakes. The author emphasizes how it would be best to take human judgment out of the process and mistake-proof or foolproof the processes. Mistakes and errors not only cost the human tragedy, but also add expensive hidden costs to our manufacturing systems and business processes. This has been done by Toyota, as the company's goal is to arrange a production line to ensure that when something is wrong, the equipment self-detects the error or mistake and stops automatically. Jidoka is part of the fabric and the very foundation on which the TPS is built. The author also uses Toyota's man-to-machine ratios as evidence, stating that Jidoka is what makes these ratios possible. In the article, the author mentions how one of Jidoka's principles is to protect humans and machines should be built this way, to ensure the safety of humans and prevent injuries. Therefore, the author argues that it is the management's job to improve the life and safety of operators, suggesting that when it comes to safety, the best test is to videotape or watch an operation on the shop floor or in the office, and then ask yourself if you would let someone you know do that job, as it is right now. If the answer is no, you need to stop the work immediately and fix the problem. The next issue is that lean is synonymously known with the term layoff. Lean is known with layoff as many companies lay off full-time employees due to continuous improvement. The author argues that this is a sign of poor management and it is detrimental to the culture of improvement. The author also explains how companies make this mistake and then wonder why employees are slowing down operations or hiding their own mistakes. The author uses the argument that lean is a process-focused metric instead of results-oriented metrics. Touching back on systems thinking, the author says an important component of systems thinking is to drive process-focused metrics and let the results-focused metrics take care of themselves. The author also explains that many companies struggle with this as there is pressure on short-term results, focusing on quarterly revenue, bookings, and sales margin. There's not much focus on process or continuous improvement. The author states that the only time investors and analysts show interest in the process is when an issue develops that impacts financial performance. Therefore, the author highlights that to truly make Lean successful, there must be a management commitment not to lay off permanent employees because of continuous improvement.
Hello everyone, my name is Hao Luo. Today I'm going to talk about my interpretation of the above approach. So first one, the system thinking theory approach argues that each part of the business process is interdependent on others. It explains that you cannot change small pieces within an existing system and expect the overall system to change. Although this is true in most cases, but the author has to consider that a business process was not built in a day. To change the process and to enable employees to adopt a new system often can be challenging, time-consuming, costly, even employee disengagement and ultimately financial loss. I believe to change the entire business process and system is a dangerous approach to large-size companies, but it can be very effective as well. The key is to how to apply this approach that will not impact the positive momentum that are currently working in the business process and improve on the opportunities. That being said, the system thinking theory approach can be very impactful and effective in smaller organizations and startups. As this small company has a flat organizational structure and it is able to move quickly to adopt. Mark Zuckerberg says, "To be lean, you had to move fast, break things, but break things does not mean being reckless." Einstein said, "I would spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes think of the solutions." It would be absolutely crucial to fully understand the problem that's being identified through asking the right question. The five whys helps the reader to understand the importance of asking why and find the root cause of the issue. This would also assist with understanding the solution that's trying to solve the problem. It is obvious that Jidoka cannot assure 100% product quality. According to 2022 J.D. Power Initial Quality Study, the industry average score of reported vehicle problems was 180. Toyota only scored at 172, well below the average. The author states that most company does not understand Jidoka, but I think most company understand Jidoka well and find it is extremely challenging to implement because the company has to risk everything to change the company process to lean thinking, lean tool, design thinking for a business result that is not guaranteed. Although every company strive to achieve 100% product quality. Unfortunately, in the real world, human errors cannot be prevented. Some even argue that could be machine errors as well. And on both an ethic and a business approach, not all human labors can be replaced by machines. Therefore, Jidoka is only an approach that cannot be 100% achieved. Lean can be interpreted in many ways. In my opinion, in the case of Toyota, lean has nothing to do with laying off employees, cutting budget, or being cheap. Rather, lean can be interpreted as the process of finding the most efficient and effective solution that can achieve immediate result. The results do not necessarily mean financial success, but rather than product success. It is important to use lean methodology to develop the minimum viable product based on the desire of the market. Therefore, being lean is being innovative, agile, and efficient. Thank you.
The implications of lean implementation on strategic accounting and accountants consists of three parts. First of all, lean implementations does not mean layoffs. Although the purpose of lean implementation is to reduce costs, which can be achieved through systematic training and improve employees' productivity. In the lean accounting system, the financial control function is built into each value stream, which can detect the problems and quickly provide feedback to the value stream manager. The manager can solve the problem through training and other methods to ensure continuous improvement and continuously improve the value stream to form a complete system. Secondly, lean implementation should be people-oriented. In other words, improving the personal value of employees. As mentioned above, the premise of Toyota's implementation of lean concept is people-oriented, respecting human nature and continuously practicing lean implementations through the five ways. For the strategic accounting on the lean implementation, the accounting staff is reasonable for the construction, maintenance, service, and consultation of information system, and the rest of work is realized by system, which can reduce pressure and increase the personal value of accountants. Last but not least, in the process, the company needs to convert from result-oriented to process management, which is one of the important viewpoints of system thinking. Traditional accounting focuses more on results and how to reduce expenses, but ignores that reducing process waste is an important way to achieve lean implementation. In other words, in all aspects of value stream, the accountants should continuously eliminate waste so as to reduce the cost and improve the effectiveness. They finally maximize customer satisfaction and achieve sustainable development of whole company.
Hello everyone, this is Perry. I will talk about the conclusion of our group presentation. So, how does the article of case study related to the current thinking in the subject area as its minds? Because of the article by the case study, examines the subject of the line production using the case study of the Toyota Corporation. The author examines the subject area from the wild perspective, looking at how the case company establishes its manufacturing policy and envelope of the years. The article is quite relevant in presenting practical lessons from the case study of Toyota. The fact that Toyota is still successful to manufacturing the company company today makes the subject of the lean production important to the organization that wishes to use the same model. Therefore, because of the value was or meaning of the article or case study, both negative and positive. So the article value was and the meaning lies on its detailed explanation of the lean production implementation process of the exemplified by Toyota Corporation. The positive aspect of the article is on security of the learn production model, emphasizes both the opportunities of the author is quite open in admitting that many organizations have tried to emulate the Toyota model of the lean production and failed. The negative aspect of the article is on its failure to provide facts of the figures that related to the experimentation of the lean production model. So this is all our presentation. Thank you.